car dynoed, and we're going to see how much the Bama tune and the PMAS intake make on their dyno jet. So let's head over there and let's get this thing dynoed. Let's go. So before I get there, I kind of wanted to just go over, because I had a lot of questions, why did I go with Bama? Now, did I know that Bama is probably not the best option for a tune for the Mustang? Yes, I knew that. I think that's pretty well known. But they're not as bad as everybody thinks they are. My car's still running. My brother and my cousin both run Bama. They're doing just fine. Now, for the reason I went with Bama, as I add parts to this car, I can get free tunes and get the car retuned every time I want to add a part. To an extent, like I can't go crazy race car on Bama. But as I add parts and as I take the car to the track, I can get new tunes, get the car set up for it, and be good to go. Some myths that I wanted to debunk about Bama are they turn off NOx sensors. That is not true. I'm running the race tune right now and the NOx sensors are working. I felt during the really hot days here in Virginia, it pulled timing out of the car. Yeah, it's probably more of a conservative tune than if I went with Lund or BMP or pretty much anybody else. No, I didn't have to data log. You can data log with Bama. A lot of people think you can't, but you can. You can do a data log and you can send it to them for any revisions. Another reason I went with Bama was the price. They're pretty cheap compared to other ones, and then there's no price to get it retuned. So until I'm pretty either beyond the point of no return with this car, or I start adding parts that are big boy parts, I will then move over to probably Lund, I think is who I want to go with. So we will see. So we're gonna keep heading to National Speed here, and I'll pick this up when we get to National Speed. Alright guys, we just got here to National Speed. I'm a little early. I'm supposed to be here at 8:30, but when it comes to car things, you know, kind of get excited, so I got here early. I'm not sure if they're open yet, but we're gonna see if we can go inside and get this started. So let's go. $399. Wow, that looks really good. Yeah, 404. Alright, we are back from the dyno, and I just kind of want to talk about what the findings mean. Was I expecting anything crazy? No, not really. As you can see there, I'm a man of science, and I wanted to get a starting point, and I think it's pretty interesting that just with an exhaust, Corsa Xtreme Cat Back, PMAS intake, and then just a basic email tune basically from Bama, and the car was able to make over 400 rear wheel horsepower, which is incredible because stock they make somewhere around 370, 365, so we're seeing about 35, maybe 40 horsepower to the wheel increase with just those 3 mods, which is impressive. And I even asked the guys there doing the dyno, said, what do you think of the Bama tune as a tune? They said it was right on point. He said he could see maybe where he could make another like 5 horsepower maybe, but that was it. And to be honest, there's really not much room to be made with just an intake and an exhaust. Not much room to work with in the first place. So the fact they were able to get 40 rear wheel horsepower out of that with just those 2 mods and a tune is pretty impressive. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab the sheets here. We're gonna go over all the different ones that I've got. I've got a couple different correction factors. Just wanna go over what means what, just show you what the car made and what we're gonna try to fix in the future. So let's take a look. All right, so this first graph here is going to be correction factor STD with 0 smoothing. And you can kind of see the graph is a little out of whack here. You can kind of see every little jump, every little motion of what the car was making the entire time. The car made 408 rear wheel horsepower. Now that's a little exaggerated. The car probably didn't make 408 rear wheel horsepower, and we'll get to the other graphs here in just a second. I'll show you what I mean. But something that I do find really interesting is that the car, after every time you dyno it, makes a little bit more horsepower. I think that's really cool. And I don't know, I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I think that's because A, the oil gets up to temperature, things start to get lubricated better, things just start getting hotter in the engine, and it's a well-known fact in engineering that a hotter engine is usually a more efficient engine. So, and this graph right here says that you can see at the very bottom is red, the very top is blue, and consistently throughout the entire graph, it was making a little more horsepower. All right, so here we got a correction factor SAE with smoothing 5, so that's going to smooth out those peaks again. And then the SAE, so the equation's changed. It's used different numbers for pressure, used a different number for humidity and temperature correction factor. So SAE smoothing 5, the car made 395 horsepower, which I know isn't 400, but it's pretty dang close. And I'm pretty sure if he would have ran it one more time with it making more power each time, it would have made 400 rear wheel horsepower. But I only paid for 3 runs, so I only got 3 runs. Last, we have SAE with no smoothing at all. So this is considered, I would say, the closest to exactly what the car was making to the T of horsepower at every little millisecond across the graph. So you can see kind of little peaks. This is the most accurate representation of what the car was making at a single point in time. So here this car made, or my car made 399.7 rear wheel horsepower, or 500 rear wheel horsepower. 500, I wish. 400 rear wheel horsepower basically, coming right out of the engine, and 376 foot-pounds of torque. So that's what this graph looks like. Looks pretty good. Before I take the car to the track, well, I might take it to the track the way it is, but I want to get rid of this dip. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here, right about 4,500 RPMs, there's a pretty major dip in both torque and horsepower. And if I had to guess, this is when the camshafts are switching to the more aggressive cam timing or cam lobe. So this would be normal, and then it switches, which allows more air, which causes a little dip in power, but then allows it to come up here, where versus this would have came out to here and like died right here in this area. I want to try to at least make this more linear, and I know the easiest way to do that is probably a supercharger. But I want to try this naturally aspirated, and I want to take it to a grip track and see what I can do with it. He only revved it out to, looks like 6,500, maybe 6,800, which is fine because as you can see, the stock manifold was starting to give out. If I had a GT350 or a 2018, this would probably keep going to about here. I might have made probably another 5 to 10 max horsepower. But you can see it was starting to give out big time, which is fine. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now you know all you need is a Cat Back exhaust, PMAS intake, and pretty much any tune, I'd say a safe tune. And you can have 400 wheel horsepower and your S550. It is that easy. Crank is probably somewhere around 450, like I said, maybe a little higher, which is super impressive out of a naturally aspirated car. I mean, come on, it is 2019. Some of the guys back in the day used to try to get 1 wheel horsepower for every cubic inch they had. So Coyote's 302 cubic inches. Ford blew that out of the water from the factory. That's pretty good. Next video, we're gonna have a really good one for you. Ramsey is getting headers installed, 2018 Mustang manifold installed, and then a custom dyno tune done in Flim Flam right here in Richmond, Virginia. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Guys, we're almost at 100 subscribers. That is crazy. 100 subscribers, 100 people. Most of you are family and friends though, but that's cool enough for me. 100 subscribers, that's crazy. I didn't think we'd get like 10, but that's awesome. So if you'd please subscribe, hit the notification bell for us. Don't miss Ramsey's video next week. It's gonna be awesome. It may even be 2 videos because we've got so much to do. And soon we're gonna take these cars out to the track and see what they can do. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a fun time. I want to take you guys along with us. May even play these guys a little bit more. Until next Wednesday, you guys have a great day. Have a good one.